Hi, I'm Bruce Bell, and welcome to Day 3 of Manifest Your Dreams. Our first day we worked with the vertical line. We put a point on the floor, we stood on the vertical line, and we began to map ourselves into space, into a square shape on the floor to give ourselves stability, to place ourselves right here on the earth. Then yesterday we worked taking our eye focus to a point in front of us, an open-eyed meditation, so that we could bring a soft gaze to the eyes while on this vertical axis. Now today we're going to take that inner focus, sit on that point, and work with our verticality of the spine. And then we're going to move forward into space, directly to the front, as far as we can, and then come back on up to vertical. Now a lot of things are going to happen in this very simple exercise. Excuse me. The intention here is to begin to send a frequency of energy up into the brain stem and get it up into the third eye area to activate the pituitary and the pineal glands to charge up with ions, negative ions, like being by the ocean shore where you have the negative ions, to charge up the cerebral spinal fluids. Now when they charge up, they start tingling, they bathe the whole brain, and then they bathe all of the connective tissues all through the body, and it begins to pulse at a different rhythm and pace. Now these, if you studied craniosacral therapy, they talk about different diaphragms where these pulses begin to breathe, and they have a different breath pattern than like our normal breathing. These are different, like there's one in the throat area or the abdomen. They have their own rhythm and their own pulses. Right? Now when they begin to start pulsing and harmonize, then the body begins to move and stretch in different ways. So it's very different than if I say bend forward and do an exercise and I just go down and I come back up. That means I used all these large muscles, right? All these strong muscles that support my spine, but not the ones that breathe my body. Right? So we want to tap into that, because those parts that are breathing the body are then beginning to move electrical currents along with fluid currents in little wave patterns through the body in a very natural and organic way. We're going to do 2 layers here. One, I'm going to bring in some yoga, and I'm going to bring in the breath of fire. And this is a pretty simple breathing exercise to charge up the system and to bring electricity to the nervous system, and it has a relaxation response. And then we're going to do a simple exercise that I learned from Emily Conrad back in 1978. And I've been doing regularly to work with the flexibility of my spine, and also will dig into your hips nicely. And it resembles, or can resemble in yoga, a cobbler's pose, which would be sitting like so, or if you're a little more advanced, you could bring your legs in, your feet in close, bring your heels together, or, you know, I don't want to get in technically to the pose, because this is not about the cobbler's pose. This is about the what Emily calls the amphibian, and she was talking about tapping into the evolutionary aspects of the cells of the body, that we are a body that went through this transformation or metamorphosis. So part of this is an enactment, like as an amphibian is an animal that has gills and then lungs. So her image was you lean forward, you dive down into the water, you go as deep down into the water as you can, and then you begin to come back up, and you look into the light, and you see the light, and you follow the light all the way up into verticality. So there's an image to work with, but what we want to do is be aware of the experience that we're having. Now, I've taken 45 minutes to do this before. I think it's probably the longest I ever sat with it, because you kind of have to get into a certain state to prolong that type of work. So really, you are just going to forward roll, you know, go down as far as you can, look up, and come up. Now, if I take 45 minutes, or if I take 20 minutes, or if I take 10 minutes, you'll begin to see that my spine has to make adjustments because my breathing is moving the body up and down. So I breathe from the inside out, and it stretches me a little bit here. Maybe one of my vertebrae lengthens a little bit, and then I exhale, and it kind of comes back down. The whole body adjusts, and then I do another breath, and I expand a little bit more, and I make way for the breath and energy, and then I exhale, and it comes down, and it keeps on, growing itself and adjusting itself. And the different diaphragms that we're talking about with craniosacral therapy, they begin to pulse differently until they start getting into a certain harmony, and the whole body begins to breathe in its way down. And then you can kind of go in your psychological depth too. That I go down into the depths of my being, right? I go down deep into a place of stillness where I can't be moving around and agitating. I go down deep until I could sit there, and then I can begin to come back up into the light of my own personal transformation. Now, you don't have to do it in cobbler's pose like so. You could also do it cross-legged. Now, I played football for a long time and danced for a long time. I have a few little, knee things going on because of that. And so it depends on the day, cross-legged I might be okay, but cobbler's keeps me with my feet together a little bit farther away from my body, keeps my knees in a pretty good position. I can't quite go down as low as I might in the others, but that's not the task here. Anyways, just to go as far down and as low as we can in that certain amount of time. And I think, we do it maybe 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 minutes will be plenty for us to lead you through. And what I will do is describe bits of my experience as we go through that. So first, let's start with the breath of fire. And this is basically where your diaphragm pulls up, and it's like a little vibration. If I make a sound so you can hear it. But you're going to do it with your, hopefully, with your mouth shut, and it comes out the nose. Now, if you got a stuffy nose, go blow it, right? Try to clean it out as much as you can. It's basically designed for that because there's a certain resistance that happens, and that'll help build up the energy also. So, but basically, I gave you a link if you want to learn more about this on the website where it's a little bit more formal. I'm doing this for a certain purpose, to charge up the system a little bit, to get your third eye a little bit more charged. So if you go back to our open-eyed meditation that we did yesterday, where you have this soft gaze, you're going to just take a breath in, a full breath in, so we could, you'll be challenging yourself with your balance of oxygen and carbon dioxide at first. So if you get lightheaded, just stop, take a big full breath, okay? So I'm going to take a full breath in, and then exhale a full breath out. And then another full breath in. And on the exhalation, you can begin to pump the diaphragm and send the air out. So I'm making the sounds like you could hear it, but it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and pause, and just take an easy breath in and out. So I think I'm doing 24 or so. So it's kind of basic. The more advanced levels, maybe your breath gets harder. You do it, stronger. You do it longer. But this is the basic way to charge up yourself a little bit. Now, take a little bit in tunement with what we did yesterday. Take a soft gaze to that point out in front of you. Soft, relaxed jaw. Breathe in. Full breath in. Just a full breath out. And then one more full breath in, and then we'll do our 24 little breaths of fire. And here we go. Keep going. Eight more. And relax. Breathe in. We'll do one more round. Exhale. Let it all go. No effort on the exhalation. Breath is in. I think we're around 6 sets of 8, so we're really at 48. Here we go. I lose count. It doesn't really matter. It's not the purpose here, learning how to count while we exhale fast, so. Good. Feel a little tingly, maybe? You do that enough, practice that enough, you'll have more energy whenever you need to have that, and you'll be breathing more clearly, and you'll be assimilating more oxygen to your system, and that's all healthy for you. So here's the amphibian now. Take your feet together or sit cross-legged as I was. Get up as high on your sit bones as you can. You can even pull them back a little bit. Pull them back and open, because we're going to be doing a forward flexion, and that'll allow you to go forward more. If your feet are together, try to keep them all in the same vertical or line along the floor. And you could use your hands here to support yourself as you go down. So here's the simplicity of this, and just begin to, you might even want to close your eyes on this one. Take a breath in, and as you exhale, just very, very slowly, begin to let your head lean forward. Now some of you have already gone halfway down, right? No, it's much slower than that. And let yourself have time to breathe in. Now we're really not counting, catching our breath here. We're just breathing naturally so that the body can do its own filling up and its own emptying in accordance where the body feels comfortable at this point. And as you slowly bring your head forward, just observe, let yourself have time to observe the rest of the body. Like, what are my shoulders like? Has my weight began to transfer off my sit bones and move forward or not? Do I have tension in my neck, and am I able to let it go? Yes, that's true. I am able to let it go. Has it reached a certain flexion forward that's going to begin to, in my neck, that's going to begin to make the rest of my body want to move forward? You're just watching and observing. Are my shoulders equal in dynamics, or is one crushed in a little bit to the center and the other? And what if I just open them and even them out a little bit? Can I do that without any real muscular effort? In one sense, we're kind of like floating. If you think about the amphibian beginning to have the top of the head go down into water, you're going to begin to experience a certain sense of buoyancy. And there we go, just very slowly. I don't know, maybe we did a minute already and we really haven't done much, huh? And if there's any tension, just let it give into gravity. So it's just the weight of the top of the head that begins to stretch the neck. Now for me, I'm beginning now to start to move forward. I'm no longer strictly on my vertical axis, and I'm beginning to roll forward. So I'm going to take my hands down to the ground and just gently touch to be a little bit of a guide and support. You don't have to have your hands on the ground, but today I want my hands on the ground. And keep rolling down. And I can begin to feel a certain traction, like up in my upper back now, that's just being dropped down and stretched because of the pull of gravity. And every time I find a little tension, it's just a chance to say, okay, let go. Let go in my jaw, let go in my shoulders. Let go behind my eyes. Let go behind my nose. It's amazing where we create tension, and we create tension on the external muscles, but also on the whole internal schema of the body. And just keep on rolling. Keep on going. Imagining now that you're like diving down into the water. And it's starting to get darker. And you keep on going down. You keep on descending. At some point, you're going to reach an area that you really don't think you can go anymore. I'm going to do a slight adaptation on this. And I'm going to put my hands underneath my malleosis, the balls of my feet, because they're hitting the ground and pressing into it, and that's kind of painful, so I don't want to do that. I just want to be able to do the rest of the exercise. So, here's the cool thing now. Let's say you've gone pretty far, and it doesn't matter how far you've gone. We're not going to come all the way up yet. In fact, we're only going to come up, about an inch. And all that means is that I'm going to allow myself to begin to look forward and begin to reverse the arc of the spine. Now, that reversing of the arc of the spine is going to happen in two places. One is going to happen at the top of the neck. The other is going to happen down at the tailbone. So, for every inch of distance that I move at the top of my head, think of the tailbone going backwards the same amount. Like they're two ends of a snake, two ends of a sine wave, but very connected. Here we go. Just gently look forward. Until you begin to feel a release up through your shoulders. And then I want you to release that and let the head go back down. But this time it's gone out into space farther. It's gone out and over before it descends a little bit more. This is kind of a cool thing. That both of the ends of the spine begin to move with some sort of symmetry. Do it again. Just have a little release. Look forward. It'll take you out over your legs. And what happens to the middle of my back? It begins to press down more. And my lungs begin to open more. My jaw relaxes more. And then I'm going to dive one more time down and over, all the way down. And this time I'm going to keep on descending. Keep on going. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, relaxing, 5, letting go, 4, 3, release the head totally, 2, and 1, till the top of the head is pointing down toward the center of the earth through a deep, deep, dark ocean. Now we're going to begin our descent. So we're going to take about the same amount of time. Begin to look forward as you've gone down as deep as you can. You're breathing, if you're an amphibian, through your gills. And just begin to look forward. Feel the reversing of the arc of the spine. Soft breath. There'll be a tendency to start to want to move fast. See if you can slow that down. Maybe just nod your head forward a little bit and take another little dive. Then float on up. Up a little farther. One more time, nod your head a little forward. As if you're inside of a wave deep down into the ocean. It's moving you up and down. Look forward again. This time just keep on rising up. Begin to imagine that the top of your head's coming toward the surface of the water. And your top of your head's breaking the surface of the water. And the water is dripping down over your head and your face. And you begin to see up in the sky, and up there above you, you know there's a sun, and you begin to be drawn toward that sun. Now, if any tension happens, like in the hips, let them go. Anytime any tension begins to happen on large extraneous muscles, just let them go. Let yourself sink deeper in relationship to the earth. Slow, steady movement. Still the breath is moving. Allow the breath to fill up the lungs. Allow the breath to stretch up through your back. Allow your breath to move your shoulders and roll them back. Allow your breath to relax your jaw. And just keep on moving up, slowly being guided by that light above you. It's a beacon that keeps moving you up. And breathe into the bridge of the nose, the mouth closed. See if you can see the sun now up into the area between your eyebrows. The sun external and the internal sun. At some point you begin to come a little bit more vertical. And you feel more weight shifting down through the pelvis. And just let it all happen organically. Keep dropping down. Keep looking up. Two forces, one going down to the earth, one going up to the sky. When you find yourself looking straight above you, and you find yourself coming back to your sitting position with your vertical spine, begin to let the top of the head lift up toward the sky. Open your eyes and let yourself come and gaze into that drishti point in front of you. Full breath in, full exhalation. Let's end this with an Om by looking into that point in front of you. Full breath in. Om. I hope you enjoyed that. I hope your spine feels better. You could do this 10 times in a row. You could do it slow. You could do it fast. It's a nice, just easy, gradual flexion and lengthening back up. Thank you. See you tomorrow.